There's a quiet pressure in the modern world that almost no one names. The pressure to be seen, to be visible, to be acknowledged, to be understood, to be recognized as something. It lives underneath social media, underneath productivity culture, underneath personal branding, even underneath spirituality. And what's strange is that most people don't actually want attention. They want relief. Relief from feeling unseen. Relief from feeling insignificant. Relief from the subtle fear that if no one is watching, nothing they do matters. So we perform. We explain, we narrate ourselves, and slowly we trade presence for projection. We're told, explicitly and implicitly, that being seen equals power, that influence comes from exposure, that authority comes from reach, that success comes from recognition. But when you actually observe powerful people, truly powerful ones, something doesn't add up. They are not loud. They are not constantly explaining themselves. They are not chasing attention. In fact, many of them appear almost untouchable. Not hidden, just unavailable. And that's the distinction most people miss. There's a difference between being seen and being felt. Being seen is visual. Being felt is energetic. One is loud, the other is undeniable. You can see thousands of people a day and feel nothing. But when you feel someone, you remember them. You adjust around them, you listen differently, and you pause. Presence does not ask for attention. It creates gravity. The need to be seen creates leakage. Because when you want to be seen, you explain more than necessary, you perform instead of embody, you speak before you're settled, you look outward for confirmation. And none of that is wrong, but it is costly. It costs energy, it costs clarity, it costs authority. Power doesn't leak loudly. It leaks subtly through overexpression. There's a paradox that governs influence. The less you try to be noticed, the more noticeable you do become. Because you stop reaching. And when you stop reaching, your nervous system settles. Your words slow down. Your movements become deliberate. Your presence becomes contained. And containment is where power lives. One of the clearest markers of quiet power is how little someone feels the need to explain themselves. Not because they are withholding, but because they are rooted. Explanation often comes from insecurity, not clarity, from the subtle fear of being misunderstood, from the need to justify existence, from wanting agreement instead of resonance. Authority doesn't require consensus. It requires alignment. People with influence don't track reactions in real time. They're not scanning faces. They're not adjusting mid-sentence. They're not performing emotional math. They're with themselves first. And because of that, others orient to them. This is why silence is powerful. This is why restraint reads as confidence. This is why stillness outperforms noise. Being seen is not wrong, but it is a stage, not a destination. At first, being seen helps us find our voice. It helps us locate ourselves in the world. But if we stay there too long, we begin to outsource our sense of self. And that's when influence collapses. True power arrives when you no longer need to be witnessed to exist. You no longer need agreement to stand, and you no longer need validation to trust your own signal. Influence comes from internal coherence, emotional regulation, energetic containment, and clarity without urgency. People follow what feels stable, not what feels impressive, not what feels intense, and not what feels loud. Stability is luxury. Calm is luxury. Self-trust is luxury. There is a moment, subtle but decisive, where someone stops asking, "Do you see me?" and starts asking, "Am I aligned?" That shift changes posture, it changes speech, and it changes timing. And others will feel it immediately. In a world obsessed with being visible, the most radical move is to be unavailable to noise, to speak only when something is settled, to move only when something is clear, to let presence do the work. You don't need to be seen to be powerful. You need to be rooted. And when you are, you will be noticed without trying. And that is the luxury effect.